We want to get to Shannon Bream. The Supreme Court is issuing a ruling over whether hospitals in Idaho must be forced by the Biden administration to perform abortions in emergency situations. That's despite the state's near total ban. Shannon Bream, this is the leaked document from yesterday. Does it hold true to what was leaked yesterday?
As far as we can see, it looks very, very similar. I haven't spotted any big differences yet. The overall decision is the same. It's a per curiam decision, which means nobody signs on as the majority to this, sort of like the whole court signs on to it with one voice. And the ultimate decision was we took this case before we should have. We're sending it back to the lower court, and we're lifting the stay that had been in place. Now, what that does essentially is it equates to a win for the Biden administration that said their federal law, their federal regulation supersedes Idaho's near total ban on abortion. This is about emergency care. Now, Idaho's law has an exception for the health or the life of the mother, They spent a lot of time in arguments here talking about, well, what about something short of life and death if a mother is going to have her reproductive organs permanently damaged to affect her fertility, if there's other organ failure or other things happening. And essentially what the court said is we're not going to get into the merits of that. Now, Justice Alito does write a dissent here, and he says today's decision is puzzling, having taken the unusual step of granting certiorari, meaning they decided to hear the case before Idaho's appeal could be heard by the Ninth Circuit, that one level down. The court decides it does not want to tackle this case after all, and thus returns the appeal to the Ninth Circuit, which will now have to decide the issue that this court now ducks. So clearly taking a bit of a brush at some of his other colleagues that they weren't willing to hear this case after they had voted and sounded like, they went through the whole process. It was briefed, it was argued here, and then they say we're not going to hear it. So it does get the court out of issuing some kind of contentious issue, big on the merits when it comes to abortion in the middle of a debate night. And what the practical, bottom line of this whole thing is that abortion will be more widely available in Idaho, but it's only going to be for emergency circumstances. And it won't just have to be the life of the mother. With the stay lifted, what it means is if the woman can argue there's another dire health situation, despite Idaho's law, they would have to, under federal law, if they're a hospital receiving Medicaid money, would have to go ahead with the emergency abortion. But it looks like this is the last one for today.
Andy McCarthy's joining our coverage now. Andy, jump on in here. So now a federal appeals court will take a closer look at the merits of this case?
Yeah, and arguably that's what should have happened in the first place. But what's interesting is they initially took the case mindful, at least the justices who had to accept it. And we should point out that it only takes 4 justices to accept a case. It takes 5, obviously, to win on the result. But the 4 who took the case sided with the proposition that the state was likely to prevail. And what the fractured opinion here, including a joint opinion from, or I guess an opinion from Justice Barrett that's joined in by the Chief Justice and Justice Kavanaugh, what they suggest is that the facts have changed, or at least the court's understanding has changed since the time that the petition was granted, which at least suggests that maybe it doesn't look to them anymore like Idaho is necessarily likely to prevail on the merits. And I think that has the people who dissented, including Justice Alito, taken aback here.
Andy, because Shannon just said this is the last opinion, so we're not going to get the presidential immunity decision today before the debate.
Yeah, and I think that's probably right, Dana. I know the court is not trying to affect politics. I really think that they'd like to stay out of politics. But I'm sure somebody must have, we're talking about 9 very smart people. Somebody must have given some thought to, is this really a look that we want to drop an opinion that could be so consequential to the final months prior to the election on the day that we're going to have what maybe, for all we know, it'll be the last debate. Maybe we'll get another one, but it's a very important day, and I think the court would want to stay out of it.
Shannon, what does the release schedule look like then? What's the timeline here?
So what happens is tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, we do this again. Now, what normally happens if tomorrow was going to be the last day, what they would do is announce today and say, like, tomorrow we will sit for the final day of the term. They did not do that today. They said, we'll be back again tomorrow. But the chief did not announce that tomorrow would be the last day, which suggests to us this is going into next week. They need a little bit more time. Probably later today, maybe on Friday, they give us what will be the final day. But because the chief didn't make what he normally makes, is that day before the last day announcement, it looks like this is going beyond Friday.
And Jonathan Turley, if you could give us your thoughts as we wrap up another day of Supreme Court breaking news coverage.
Well, it's hard to feign surprise with the fact that this opinion came out last night by mistake. But someone decided that obviously the court was fractured, and someone said, can we dig it? And dig it means dismissed as improvidently granted. And it was the ultimate off-ramp. And reading Alito's dissent, you got to wear asbestos gloves. I mean, he's basically saying, what the heck is this? You satisfied the higher standard in taking this extraordinary measure before. Now, if tomorrow's our last day, it's going to be a heck of a day. It's basically Roberts has decided to hold the World Cup, World Series, and the Super Bowl on the same day.
Hey, I even know what that means, Jonathan.
It is going to be really something. So we'll wait. We'll see. It'll be quite at a moment if it's true.
I better suit up tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.